All right, I'm live. Good morning, CEOs. If you are watching this right now, you're probably watching on the replay. So if you can just type replay down below, I'd appreciate it. I'm trying to get an idea of like what are the best times or when most people are watching, because maybe I might change the time for our Monday talk to accommodate more schedules. So put replay down if you're watching a replay. Good morning. As people start coming in, let me know where you are from. Who are you? Where you at in the world? And yeah, are you ready? Ready to hear about best overlooked cars for cash sales? I had to get some coffee this morning. I'm not even really a coffee drinker, honestly. I'm more of a tea drinker, but I don't know, I've been kind of dragging. I don't know. I think maybe it's the season, like fall is starting. It's like just stay in the bed or, like lay on the couch. Am I the only one? Don't say I'm the only one. I'm the only one who wants to just like, it's fall. Let's forget about goals. Let's forget about stuff. But good morning. Who's watching? Can you guys hear me? Because I am feeling chatty today. I'm just chatting on. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, now I see the comments now. They took a minute. Good morning, Jeremy. What's up? Danny, Eric, good morning. Al, good morning. Yes, coffee is always good, Eric. Okay, yes, I'm not the only one. Yeah, I'm just kind of dragging a little bit this morning, and so I had to go get some coffee. I don't have a coffee maker at home because I'm afraid that I would drink it more, and it's not really all that good for you. But that's another discussion for another day. So let's get into these best overlooked cars for cash sales. We got a couple of new people in the group. So I'm Shamel Leonard. I created this group and the Auto Dealer Business School so that I could do this, provide you all the secrets so that you can make the most money you possibly can being an auto dealer and build up a business that you can pass on to your kids if you like, or your grandkids. So today we're talking about best overlooked cars for cash sales. Okay. I got my notes. I'm going to go start with number one, which is, I think, high mileage vehicles. Okay. I think a lot of people overlook high mileage vehicles because, when you're buying a car, people tell you all the time, like, it needs to have low miles or close to 100,000 miles, or, you have heard all of this all your life. Okay. Like, oh, it's over 100,000 miles. It's no good anymore, or it's going to have issues, et cetera, et cetera. So people go into the auto business like consumers, like if you were buying this car for yourself, which is nothing wrong with that. Like that's the information you have. That's what you draw from. So use that. However, high mileage vehicles can be cash cows because one, not a lot of dealers are bidding on them because they're scared of them. And two, they think they can't sell them. But I have learned that high mileage vehicles actually are preferred by some customers because they couldn't get that car otherwise. So for example, so it's not just any high mileage vehicle. So let's start there. It has to be a high mileage vehicle that is it's the ish, honestly, and it's really expensive, brand new, but with high mileage, it gives somebody the opportunity to be able to afford this car that's really all that. Okay, so when I'm talking about high mileage cars, what I buy high mileage is I buy my Toyota Sequoias high mileage. I haven't gotten one with under 200,000 miles yet. Any F-150s, any pickup trucks, high mileage, okay, like 300,000 miles, don't be scared. People want that vehicle with those high miles. Also, anything that has a reputation of being reliable, like your Hondas that have 300,000 miles, don't be scared because somebody is like, yeah, otherwise this Honda would have been $5,000. Now it's only 2,500 or 3,000 because of the high mileage that they're getting. They're getting it from you. That's what they're paying you. So yes, high mileage vehicles, don't be afraid. They are really overlooked at the auction, but you do have to know which ones to buy high mileage, because not all high mileage vehicles are, good. Okay. All right. So any questions about high mileage vehicles? Anybody have any questions or comments? And also dealers, pitch in. Like, I know what I know from what I do, but you know what you know from what you do. So if you have some information about like what you think are best overlooked vehicles for cash sales, and let me know, okay? So that I can know what you know too. We can all know what you know too, okay? So any questions about high mileage vehicles? Any questions? So while I'm waiting for questions for high mileage vehicles, I'm going to go on to number 2, which I think are vans, okay? Yeah, vans, they're not sexy. They aren't, but they are very overlooked at the auction because lots of people buy vans for lots of different reasons. It's not just soccer moms. Lots of mechanics buy vans because they're cheaper than pickup trucks. So they can have all their equipment in the back, and also they can have it secured because it's a van. Okay. Lots of people, so lots of people buy vans. So don't be afraid of a van, any van really. I have my list of the vans I prefer just based on what my audience, what my customers prefer. But, any van will sell. Vans are good. They are very overlooked at the auction though, okay, in any condition, because even a tore up, broke down van can be an Amazon delivery vehicle. Right? Amazon is hiring delivery people, and I get people all the time who are looking for vehicles to deliver. Also, the post office they have contracts that they give out, I know in our area, and you have to have some kind of van or some kind of like a cargo vehicle. Okay. So vans, check your vans out at your auction. Any questions about vans? And I see your question, Eric. I'm going to save that one for the end. Okay. But any questions about high mileage vehicles or vans? Since I see your question though, when I was talking about high mileage vehicle hybrids, high mileage do well too. Okay, but when you say hybrids, Eric, what exactly are you talking about? Like, do you think that they're overlooked? Are they overlooked at the auction? Do they have, more profit potential? Is that what you're thinking? I'm thinking that's what you're thinking when you ask that question. But I'll keep going on to number 3 while I wait for the answer. So number 3, I would have to say most overlooked cars, or the best overlooked cars for cash sales are, let's see, question about vans. Minivans or full-size vans? Any vans. But I was talking about minivans. But yeah, I've sold a couple of full-size vans and conversion vans. Okay, so vans did not go out of style with the 70s or the 80s whenever they were in style. Like, people still rely on vans. So yeah, vans they sell very quickly for me, very, very quickly. All right, so number 3. Vehicles manufactured where you live, or if you have a plant nearby where you live, within a certain radius, any vehicles that are manufactured there, you're going to have a lot of parts in your area, a lot of used parts, and a lot of people are going to be familiar with them because the big company has done the marketing for you. So like here, I've talked about this before in Atlanta. Ford Taurus, there are a lot of Ford Tauruses. There is a plant, also Crown Victorias. So, Crown Vics though are probably for other reasons, but because of that, Ford Taurus isn't really complicated to repair anyway for the most part. However, with so many of them, there are lots of used parts, lots of inventory to pull from. So even if you have an issue, you can rectify it pretty easily and inexpensively. Okay, so any questions about vehicles manufactured where you live? Oh, it's kind of short, but just basically anything that, you know, if you have a Hyundai assembly plant, or, you know, people, you know, whatever it is, whatever kind of plant you might have nearby, okay, then yes, those vehicles are overlooked at the auction, because I would say a lot of, you know, a lot of people, I don't know, I guess it just depends on what is manufactured, but a lot of people look over Fords anyway. And I don't understand it. Like, I know Ford stands for Fix a Repair Daily, but that has not been my experience. Like, that's a, you know, that's a good domestic vehicle. I would have to say most of the cars that they have made, the F-150 for sure, I would have to say is their best one. And I'm going on a tangent about Ford, but I think actually I'm adding another one. I think domestic vehicles are overlooked for cash sales for whatever reason. Like Fords and Chevys, for whatever reason, are very overlooked. And I love Ford and Chevys. Like, they are easy to fix. They hold up. Like, I mean, people beat them down. Okay. Have you ever seen a Ford Explorer at the auction? It is like well loved. Okay. But those domestic vehicles are overlooked, but they are great for cash sales. So, yeah, pick you up some domestic vehicles. Like, don't just go with the imports. Domestic vehicles are definitely overlooked. All right, so number 5, I think now, or 4, government vehicles. Or did you have any questions about domestic vehicles? Any questions about domestic vehicles? And like any issues, or, you know, like, oh, get, you know, specifications you want, any insider info on domestic vehicles. But yeah, domestic vehicles are really good for cash sales. So the next one, while I wait for the comments, is government vehicles. Okay, government vehicles, usually, even, you know, a lot, they're overlooked. I think, well, honestly, I have to say, I think more people are understanding that they shouldn't be overlooked. Okay, so I think while they might have been overlooked before in the past, now they're not so overlooked, because people are understanding that these are great vehicles, because if nothing else, they had regular maintenance. Even if they were dogged out, they had regular maintenance, and, you know, they have good paperwork. Okay, so yeah, and they usually don't have accidents and, you know, a whole bunch of owners. There was one owner, right? The government. So definitely check out your government vehicles. That's all I have to say there. So question, Jeremy says, Dodge and Chevy sedans sell fast and go cheap for me. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Like that Dodge Neon. I generally say Dodge is one of my least favorites to buy. But that Dodge Neon though, okay, that one, and the, why can't I think of the other one I buy all the time? That Dodge, what is it? It's the Neon, and then it's the bigger sedan 4-door one. What is it? Y'all help me out. What's the other Dodge 4-door? What is it? It is on the tip of my tongue. I cannot think of it. I haven't seen one in a minute. But anyway, if you think of it, let me know. But that Dodge Neon though, that's a good vehicle. And I have sold a couple of those, and they sell fast. And Chevys too. Y'all are missing out trying to bid on these Toyotas and these Hondas. Okay. All right. Let's see. We got some comments. The Stratus. Yes, Eric. Thank you. The Stratus. Yes, that Stratus though. Man, anytime I've had a Stratus, I mean, flying. It's gone in days. Okay, not the Charger, unfortunately. That's not, that one I get a lot of requests for. Like, people want me to go and buy one for them. But I don't like that vehicle. I don't think most of them are well made. You know, they have some muscle, but I don't think they're well made. But yes, that Stratus though, the Stratus is, yeah, okay. Okay, Jerry, LOL. All right, so let me see, my phone locked. All right, so any questions about, so far, just to recap, we've talked about high mileage vehicles, and I'm talking like high 200, 300,000 range vans, vehicles manufactured where you live, domestic vehicles in general, and government vehicles. Oh, Jeremy says engines are trash. You're correct. Yes, in that Charger. Yes, they are. Chargers have issues. They are sexy. They sound sexy. Like, it's definitely a muscle car. Well, you know, some of them. You get the right package. But yeah, I do not try to keep them. I have never bought a Dodge Charger just to hold and, you know, sell. I've only bought them if someone has requested it, because people do request them, of course, because they look good. All right, so the last one is, I would say that's the best overlooked cars for cash sales are, I think in general, cars in need of repairs. I talk to a lot of dealers and they're like, oh, I didn't find anything at the auction today that didn't need repairs. And I'm like, that's how this works. Like, you know, you're not going shopping like a consumer. You have to see the vision in the car, you know, get a car, repair it. And so because of that, a lot of dealers don't want to buy cars at the auctions that need repairs, like any repairs. Okay. They want to get a perfect, ready to go car. Okay. Which is a great opportunity for my wholesalers. Okay. However, in repairs in general, but the repairs I'm talking about specifically that are the best overlooked cars for cash sales are the electrical issues. The electrical issues. Now, you know, otherwise the car has to be in pretty good shape, you know, and that has to be like the one issue. But many times, many times, a car has electrical issues because it had a short, or, you know, something weird or crazy happened. A wire came loose. The mount, the engine mounts, are the engine's moving, and so something has come loose. And you know, you might just have to trace down what wires have the issue in the wiring harness. Or just replace the wiring harness, or just replace the computer. Okay. And I know when you hear, what, the computer, like that's a lot of money. Not necessarily. I have replaced the computer on many vehicles, and I don't think I've spent over $150 for a computer. And that's with the keys coded to the new computer. Okay. So that's not an expensive fix. And it fixes like all the issues, because if it has electrical issues, you got lights on galore. It might not start. It may not stay running. Like, it manifests in a bunch of ways, having electrical issues in a car. However, sometimes all you have to do is just replace the computer, and it's good to go, and it's purring, and it's pulling, and it's like a nice ride. Okay. So check for your electrical issues at the auction, and don't be scared of the electrical issues. Jeremy says corrosion on connections will cause electrical issues. Yes. Seen it a lot, and it's easy to fix. Yes. Thanks, Jeremy. Yes, you're right. Sometimes electrical issues are very small fixes, very, very small fixes. So check out your local auction for electrical issues. I feel like I'm doing a commercial for you buying electrical issues. But yeah, check out your auction for electrical issues so that you can swipe those cars up, because the average dealer, the dealer who does not come to this talk or does not take this training, at the Auto Dealer Business School does not know to not be afraid of the electrical issues. So they're passing electrical issues up. They're like, nah, B, I'm not even, that's too much. Okay. But you can come in, scoop them up real cheap, fix them real cheap, sell them, and your customer is happy with a reliable vehicle, and you're happy because you got a whole bunch of money in profit. Okay, Jeremy says, buying electrical problems by Shamel Leonard. Right, okay, that's my commercial. Buying electrical problems, yes. So don't be scared to buy, don't be afraid to buy electrical issues. I would have to say any issues. Like the point about, I think the point with issues in general is just find you a niche. Find you a niche so that when you step into the auction, you know what's valuable for you, and there are only a couple of people who are your competition instead of everyone. Everyone wants to go to the auction and buy a Honda or a Toyota. Everyone wants to go to the auction and buy a car that needs no repairs. Okay, therefore there is a whole bunch of competition. So then when people say, oh my gosh, these cars have been bidding up, I mean, they have been going higher than I would say is normal, but I think that's for a lot of reasons. But I think one reason is because everyone wants to buy the same car. They want to buy the one that has no issues and is ready to go and make money. Okay. But you, the savvy auto dealer, has the inside track and is like, nah, I'm gonna go over here and get this in-op because I know it's only electrical issues. Okay. So any questions about best overlooked vehicles? Anything anyone wants to share from their experience about what has been the best for them? Let me know. Like I want to hear too. See if I can buy some different cars. Get some, get some other kind of issues. So hybrids. So I just thought about it. Eric, hybrids. Honestly, I don't have a whole lot of experience with hybrids. I want to have more experience, so I am going to start buying more hybrids, but I don't have a whole lot of experience. The only hybrid that I've had experience with is the Toyota Prius, which I absolutely love. And yes, you're going to want to get that one high mileage because one, they go for a lot at the auction, but two, people still buy those with 300,000 miles. Okay, so that's an example of a high mileage vehicle to get. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot of experience with hybrids. What I think though is overlooked with the Prius is battery issues. I think a lot of dealers don't want to deal with the battery issue because it's supposed to be an expensive fix, but not for the savvy auto dealer, right? Because if you research a little bit, you know that the whole battery doesn't fail. It's just certain cells within the battery, and you can actually just replace those cells and have a good running vehicle in most cases. And instead of hiring a mechanic to do the job, you can hire an electrician. Okay, so just a little extra something in case you didn't know about the hybrid batteries. But that's one thing that people stay away from with hybrids is the battery. But oh yeah, Jeremy, you were telling me about this too. You like buying hybrids with dead batteries. You replace them and usually make $2,000 on each deal. Yes. Just replace. We were talking about this during our coaching session about just replacing the cells. Yes, and that has been my practice. Is just find out which cells and you test them. Just like any electrical test, which ones have charge, which ones have a charge, and which ones don't, and then you replace the ones that don't. All right, so Jesse says, if you're trying to keep the repair costs low, is this the car for them? Which car you mean, Jesse? Electrical problems? Because it can be. If you're trying to keep the repair costs low and a computer costs you $150, then yeah, that's low. And if that's the only thing you got to fix, sometimes you don't know if that's the only thing you have to fix, which is, a little tricky. However, most times it is the only thing. Like the computer went out and it caused a whole bunch of other problems. But clarify for me so I can make sure I'm answering your question. Eric says, I'm going to experiment with hybrids too. Hopefully not so many electrical issues. Okay, yeah, please do experiment with hybrids. I'm going to experiment with hybrids too because we're definitely moving to more hybrid vehicles, and I need to learn more about hybrids. So I will be doing that as well, and not just buying the Prius. Jeremy says, usually just a few cells. You're right. Okay, yeah, it's just a few cells. It's not the whole battery. Eric, don't know about the cells. Thanks. Oh, you didn't know about the cells. Oh, okay, yeah. It's and I learned that on YouTube from buying a Prius actually. And I watched a guy take the battery out, and he had to make sure he had to ground the electrical charge, and that's where I got the idea to hire an electrician, because it's an electrician's job. You can electrocute yourself if you don't know how to do it correctly, because it has a charge, right? It's holding energy. Jeremy says you can find a salvage cell for cheap. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, a salvage cell. All right, Jesse says yes. Okay, so you wanted to talk, that was what you wanted to know about, is are electrical issues inexpensive to repair? Yes. If it's a computer, yes. Even if it's the wiring harness, yes. The wiring harness is not really expensive. It's just you just have to make sure your mechanic knows how to put in a wiring harness, because it can be a bit complex. Okay, so that's about it. That's all I have today, unless you have any questions. But this was a fun talk, which is why I picked that one, because this is what I do. I go to the auction and I study which vehicles seem to be overlooked. Okay, I notice for a lot of people who ask me about going to the auction, like buying online, one of the reasons why I like going to the auction is because it is definitely an education. You get to stand in a lane and you get to see which cars don't sell, and you get to actually see what the condition looks like, because the post-sale report doesn't tell you what the car looked like. You're looking at the post-sale report and you're like, oh, it sold for $500, but it could have had the whole right side ripped off, but you don't know because there are no pictures with it most times for most auctions. Okay. Some auctions do have the picture with the post-sale report. So I go to the auction and I study in the lane, like what cars sold and for what, and then what cars didn't sell and why. That might be the issue. And then I make those the cars I buy, because no one's buying those cars. Okay, so yes, it is definitely education to keep going to the auction. Especially if you're new in the business, like that's an education. Jeremy says there are companies who can rebuild an ECU for you too. Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know. I didn't know they could rebuild it. That makes sense too, because it's just like a motherboard, like motherboard-ish. So if you can replace one part, they probably will do that. Take it apart and replace that one part. So that makes sense. I have a company that I'm gonna have to get the name for, but I order my computers from. I like their prices the most, and they will code the keys for you as well, which is important. Okay, so yeah, go to the auction, study what's not selling. Okay, what is not selling and why. Okay, because after the auction, then you can go to the car and investigate. Why didn't this sell? Nobody bid on this car. This otherwise is a good car. Why did no one bid on it? Okay, this is the issue. That's how you find your best overlooked vehicles for cash sales. Okay, but these are the ones that I found with my experience over the years. So hopefully you won't. Now you have more options to purchase inventory at the auction, because that's what it's about. Like, let's get this inventory and let's get the ones that make the most money, right? All right, y'all. So I hope you have a great day. Let me know if you have any more comments. And I will be talking with you later on this week. All right. Bye.